Hey, hey, you. Thanks for tuning in to Master Networks, New York and Connecticut and North Jersey region. And I have a special guest with me today. My name is Tina. Well, I'm Tina Campbell. I'm the regional partner, but more importantly, I have a special guest with me. And she's a very good friend and has become a good friend over the last few years. We work together to grow Master Networks and grow our businesses separately. And I'm going to let my friend Stephanie Bellafatto tell you a little bit more about herself. Go ahead, Steph.
Well, thank you, Tina, for having me today. I
Oh,
really
yeah.
appreciate that. And for those of you that don't know me, my name is Stephanie Bellafatto, and I represent ServPro of Putnam County and Northwest Southeast Dutchess County. We are your local um,
Fire,
fire,
flood.
flood, mold, biohazard cleanup, um, crime scene cleanup, remediation and rebuild company.
Do you like how I knew your sound bite?
I know, I love it. And what do? We make it.
Like it never even happened.
All right. See, that's when you know when people are paying attention to you.
Yeah, right. I love that, though. That's a really good tagline. Something to talk about. But one of the things I'm here with you because I'm trying to capture the stories of not only the culture keepers, because we know those are the people. What does that mean for Master Networks? Those are the people that get it, right? They understand what we're trying to do. They understand the mission statement. They understand, our direction, that we're also learning based and community minded, and they live it with us and we live it together. It's so cool, right? But so that's what the culture keepers, we get awards. We give out the awards every year at our yearly event called Connect, which happens every April, which I'm so excited to go down there with you to Texas next year. We were off for this. Well, we had it virtual this year, and then we didn't have one the year before. So I am over the moon to get hanging out with everybody. So more importantly, so that was a culture keeper. Stephanie, you won the award, but we had a mixer. We had a mixer that had to do with culture keepers getting to know each other around the country. And we asked everybody, give us a story. Tell us a story about what the culture meant to you and how possibly you lived it or experienced it. And you won the award for the best story. So I felt like everybody should hear the story. So can you start us off? Tell me about it.
Sure. Well, first, you know me, Tina. I like to say here on Master Networks, we don't just do business together, we do life together, right?
Yeah.
And the story is a true testament to how we do life together. So in November of 2019, I was away for an extended period on vacation, and I came home, and we were supposed to have some bad weather. And me being who I am, stubborn, I decided I was going to not wait to ask one of the guys that works in my company to come and clean my gutters for me, but I was going to do it by myself. FYI, I never recommend that anyone do that by
Don't do that.
themselves.
Don't do it.
Because what I ended up doing was falling off of the last rung of my ladder, falling and breaking my back. So when that happened to me, my son had moved out a little bit more than a year before that, and he didn't know anybody from Master Networks. He had never met any of my, what I call my Master Networks family, right? So I'm in the hospital and I'm laying there and people are entering the room, and my son is like, "Mom, who are these people? Like, you have a lot of friends, but I don't know any of these people."
Strange.
You know,
Strangers.
these are strangers, total strangers to him.
They know at least they knew your name, though.
Right. So I said, "Oh, that's my Master Network family." He's like, "But they were really concerned, like genuine concern. You could see it in their face. It was like,
Yeah, it was scary, Stephanie.
yeah, well, the scary part was I was home by myself. I lived by myself, and I screamed for neighbors that no one heard me until I had already dialed, and I had to crawl to my phone, which was probably approximately 12 to 15 feet away from me. And the whole time I'm telling myself, you can't pass out, because if you pass out, you're going to just lay here, God only knows for how
How
long.
long? Yeah.
Right. So,
Oh, wow.
fortunately for me, I was able to do that and dial 911. And then I screamed. Eventually, a neighbor a couple of streets up from me heard me, came
Wow.
down and
Wow.
assisted me. But I was in this mindset of, you know, anything I could do to not focus on the pain. So it was like I'm telling the neighbor, dial this number. This is my mother. She needs to come take care of my dog who is
Of
barking
course.
frantically, freaking out.
Yeah.
And I was actually dialing people on my phone on the way in the ambulance to the
Oh my
hospital,
gosh, Stephanie.
saying, meet me there, bring me clothes. They're going to cut my clothes off. But the really, it was so telling to me. And I knew it before this happened to me, what the culture of master networks was all about, but it was so expressed to me during this time, right? Because they weren't going to allow me to leave the hospital, because at the time, sorry, the dog Frankie is saying hello to you all. They weren't going to allow me to leave the hospital on my own.
Yeah.
Um, uh, without somebody with me.
Yeah,
And,
of course.
So.
But the fact that I just want to say one thing. The fact that you left the hospital, you kind of walked out of the hospital, right?
I did. Well, the doctors told my son that I should be in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
So, my son ended up quitting his job and moving back home with me to help take care of me,
Yeah.
which was, I'm so blessed that way, right?
Yeah, good guy.
And not only that, you called me and said, "Oh, I'll freeze your membership," and I said, "No, I'm coming. I'm not."
Okay, but it was also, remember, it was the middle of winter.
Yes,
and
it
I
was.
thought to myself, now I knew that all you had to do, honestly, at that time was slip and fall.
Yep.
On your way to a meeting, or even, gosh, forbids you got, like, I was worried when I took you to one meeting, I had you in my car and I was freaking out because I was like, really, like making sure you didn't get bumped, because I just
were driving slow and you were like asking me like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" It was.
But
go ahead.
How many meetings did you actually miss?
One, and the only reason I missed it was because I was in surgery at that time.
Oh my God, Stephanie. So what was, listen, it's not just a testament to Master Networks, it's a testament to your fortitude and you're just like, you're like never give up, can do attitude, so that was definitely not, not everybody would be like this, but I just want to say that it seemed like these people really rallied, right? You had people picking you up every week.
Yeah. So one of our other members, Michael Stevenson, he offered to pick me up. Well, the first meeting you brought me in remotely, if you remember, right?
Oh, yeah, I remember.
We did it by video because you were like, "It's icy outside. I don't want you to fall." And that was your whole thing. That was your whole concern for me. And I appreciated that. But I couldn't not be there. Like, that was the one thing I got to look forward to every week during my recovery was being with all of you. So Michael Stevenson used to pick me up, and I was supposed to be using a walker, and I would be damned if I was going to let anybody see me walking with a walker. So Michael Stevenson would pick me up, and he drove. His ride to me was like a 35-minute ride to pick me up, to then bring me back to the direction he was coming from, to bring me to the meeting, and then bring me home each week.
It's a good friend.
Yeah. So he, and just the outpouring of, people stopping by to check on me. I mean, you sent a certificate for food for me. Just who stopped by with flowers for me? Who was saying, do you need something to eat? I'm going to bring you food. That meant so much to me.
So when we say that, part of our why statement is that we're building a legacy beyond the business, right? And so, and Steffi, you had the best story. Everybody agreed. But you know what? There was how many stories?
Oh,
Like
there's a
it was,
lot of them.
oh, and this was just in the Culture Keepers who were talking about their chapters all over the country. And they were talking about from, helping someone picking them back up, literally and figuratively after a fire, right?
Right,
To, a gentleman that had cancer who kept his company because people were, helping him work on his company
right.
while he was out. So I really have to say, I mean, this thing just keeps, it's like it just keeps perpetuating, and I think it's like a little bit of pay it forward, right?
Absolutely. Like, I can't, there are not enough words. And I get teared up because I remember having a conversation with my son after we came home and all these people were stopping by. He was so touched, it was like bringing him to tears, saying, Mom, like, I would expect that from the people that have been in your life for a super long time, that they would be doing things like that. But these are people, like, he didn't correlate, these are people you do business with, and they're stopping by to check on you, to just help you out, or to
I
say,
know.
hey, what can we do to make something a little easier for you? Like,
But you know what's amazing? So then fast forward, you take on the role of chapter president for the Carmel, New York chapter of Master Network. So, and you know what's really, Stephanie, makes me feel so good is when you tell people, I proudly serve. And I hear you say that. I just want you to know that I hear you say that. I proudly serve as the president of the Carmel chapter. That means so much to me because when we started Master Networks, this was, yes, it's business and networking, but again, it's beyond the business, right? We're
yeah,
sitting there and we're going, okay, if you believe that you do business with people you know, like, and trust,
right.
I mean, think about that, right?
And
So then,
respect.
and
I always add respect in there too.
yeah, absolutely. So then you took on, and what's that been like? I mean, listen, it's not always easy
I
to be.
proudly serve. I am very proud.
Well, you should be.
I am very proud. I'm proud that I'm part of an organization. I'm part of a chapter that has been so loving and so giving to not just me, but look, the first thing I'm doing when I'm not seeing members, at a meeting, or if they don't happen to find a sub, I'm checking on them just to say, hey, are you okay?
Yeah,
Not to reprimand them, not for showing up, but
yeah,
hey, is there an issue? Is there something I can help you with?
right. I mean, think about that. Isn't that a completely different? So somebody might be like avoiding your call. They might be, oh God, it's Stephanie's calling me, and suddenly you're getting on the phone, on the other end of that phone, which I think, I really believe that's our culture. So Stephanie, you just are that culture. But other people, I believe it's other members and leadership in the region that are saying, are you okay? So if we could say that to each other rather than where are you or you're out, but are you
Right,
okay? What do you need? What kind of support do you need? Because when a person disappears, it's just maybe, okay, it's maybe not the right time, but honestly, how can I support you?
right. And that's usually what I'm asking them is,
Yeah,
what can I do to help? How can I support you? Is there something? Look, I want people, and I say this a lot too. When people enter the Carmel chapter meeting, I want them to feel like they've just opened the door to their home, right? I want them to feel like they're home. I want them to feel like their kids who are excited to see them, or their pets who can't wait to see them. I want them to get that feeling, right?
yeah.
Of when they see that. That's the goal. I want it to be so comfortable that you feel so welcome, like this is where you're supposed to be every Wednesday at 5 o'clock.
Right. And so think about that as a business meeting that you're like, oh no, I can't believe I've got to, how many times we go to business meetings that they're just, they're not effective.
Right.
And so what we're looking for, right, is that it's almost like, I look at it like I'm inviting someone to my home.
Yeah.
That's the way I really look at it. So now you've been proudly serving as the Carmel chapter president. Now you're on to you've been invited to be on the advisory board for the region. You
And
want
I
to talk
love
about
that.
that?
I love that. I love being on the board with Rob Genovese and you, Tina, and just coming up with ideas to share with people on how to really what culture is all about and little changes or little things that we can do to remind people of the culture. Um, you know, I'm so proud of the fact that during this whole time, you have been so instrumental in this region
Thanks.
for all of us. You huddled us together and we all supported each other
Yeah.
and the collaboration
Yeah.
and
Those.
unbelievable. Like when you talk about return on investment, and I like to talk about that last, right? Because I want people to be here because of the culture and the community and the support that we all give each other to elevate each other to the leader in our industry, right? And
Right.
that these are the benefits to that. There's so many benefits to being part of this organization. And how to to ensure that people see all of the opportunities that Master Networks has to
Yeah,
offer.
it's a shame when when someone says to me, like, it really doesn't happen that often because they
Right.
got to know what I'm going to say at this point. So they know if they're not getting referrals. The first thing I say is, what are you doing to build the relationship? And if they're just come to a chapter meeting and that's all they're doing,
That's not enough.
that's not enough. And I always say it's net. Well, actually, Gary LaRue said this down in Texas. He said it's net working, not net guaranteeing. So I take that to heart. Like, you have to work at it, but I'll work as just as hard as you will on your business, because I believe wholeheartedly that together, we can help each other. But so you were invited up to be part of the advisory board in the New York region in the culture and retention team. And then as of today, drum roll, I've asked you to come up to the team that works on the national level culture and retention. So I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much, Stephanie, for, to me, it's like you're beyond all in.
I feel honored, Tina. I truly feel honored that you asked me to be part of that. I feel like I eat, live, and breathe culture, right? Because to
Yeah.
me, that's the key to it all. Because once you've built that relationship's going to last a lifetime. Does it take time to build relationships? Sure, they take time,
Yep.
and you have to invest the time for that to see the payoff. And the payoff isn't always a financial payoff, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes the payoff comes in many different forms.
Well,
And
just support, right? I think support, some of the support that people have given to each other over the last year and a half, it's off the charts, and you can't pay for that. You know what I mean? That has to come naturally. It's organic, and people are just like, I haven't even captured all the stories, and that's some of the things that you're going to help me do as part of the culture and retention. Is I'd really like to capture the collaborative stories or stories of collaboration that are happening around the country. I mean, we could start here, but I know it's happening around in the other regions. So that's something that I want to do as a national culture and retention, team. I think
right,
that's really important because, again, I think that's where you have to look at ROI, return on investment, in exponentially sometimes. When you're
right.
collaborating with somebody, you can't even sometimes measure that. So anyway, I just wanted to mention, and congratulations, you deserve it. And I'm really looking forward to working with you on the national level.
Thank you. And I look forward to it too. And you're right about the collaborations. And listen, some of these collaborations started off as just being support systems for each other. And they're co-opetition collaborations, right?
Right, right.
So So that's even more exciting.
Right.
And not only are those, now they've been able to monetize those collaborations.
Right.
So it's a win. There's this organization, it's a win-win-win across the board.
Well, thank you, Stephanie. I mean, when I started the New York, Connecticut region, like about 6.5 years ago, really when I kind of figured out what I was doing, I never ever I dreamt of it, but I didn't see how far this was going to go. I mean, we had some really interesting stories that I think, if you could help me to kind of dig those out within the region and even nationally. We have to tell people these stories because they're just they're incredible, and I would love to get them out. So it's one of the things. I just want to say thank you, congratulations, and again, for being you, but also for just for being all in, and please. We're going to start collecting these stories. We're going to ask people to come on. I'd appreciate it. Like, if you want to come on with me, even to be a co-host sometimes and things like that. Let's work together to grab these stories and show them to everybody because they're so heartwarming and it'll bring you to tears.
I would love that, Tina. And look, really, we owe you so much because you show up.
Oh, stop it.
No, it's true. Like, you show up.
Thanks, Sarah.
You show up and support all of your chapters. That's huge. When people see that the regional partner shows up to all of their meetings, maybe not every week, but
Yeah,
you're
I can't.
making the rounds. Yeah, right. You're one person, right? Unless we could divvy
Well,
you up.
Well, but what's important is, and then we'll let everybody go. But the most, this thing about this advisory board is amazing. We had a position called an area director, and that was people that were overseeing the chapters. But you know what? It got beyond that. We looked at the area directors that we have, and they all are amazing, and they have these amazing skills. So we said, well, you know what? Let's change it up. Let's make like Coach Glow Favreau, we made her in charge of, growth
Coach
and
Grow,
development.
right? Coach Grow
Yeah.
now.
Coach Grow instead of Coach Glow. And, it's just her, and Sammy is the president of the advisory board because she keeps us on track. Rob Genovese he's the advisor for culture and retention, and you're on his team. He's also at the national level with me. We have Jason Cormus, who's strategic development for the region. We have, Karen Trindell just stepped up to work with us because she's this amazing operations person. We've got I just want to give everybody
Jim
kudos.
Sandler, right?
Jim Sandler, training and education. Rick Gabrielli for leadership. Maggie Carey, in charge of technology,
yeah.
And the ambassadors. Ann Genovese is ambassador, and so is Nancy Kardashko Walsh. And we also have David Carley stepping up from the Queens chapter because he's wants to get involved. So I just want everybody to know leadership is not a clique or a club. And the funniest thing is it's just saying to me that, you want to be involved and stepping up into it. Some people are like, well, you didn't ask me. I'm like, I don't really like asking. It's kind of a funny thing.
Then you feel like if I have to ask, then are you really,
It's just me not wanting to ask. That's all, And so some people like, Rob was like, can I do this? I'm like, yes. But I feel funny. So, but we have just the most amazing people that behind the scenes are working to keep the culture. And I just want to say thank you, Stephanie. Thanks for coming on, explaining this and explaining how you're stepping up into, this other newer position that I'm just so thankful for your friendship and love and your support. Thank you.
Thank you, Tina. Thank you for your friendship, love, and support. Without that during this time, we would be having a much different conversation.
I know. I don't think we'd be having one actually.
Right.
But so I'm looking forward to our next challenge of finding more people that are collaborating. If anybody wants to message myself or Stephanie, let us know how you're collaborating. We would love to have you on this broadcast, and let's get the stories out about what we're doing. Okay.
Yeah. Let's spread the word, and by spreading the word, you can engage so many other people and share that story. So,
and one of the things I think I have are in our banners. No, I didn't change it. So it's, if you need us, Tina Campbell at masternetworks.net. And you can just send me a note and tell me how you're collaborating. And if anybody's interested in Master Networks, you could go to our regional page, which is Master Networks NYCT, like New York and Connecticut, masternetworksnyct.com. All right. Thank you, Stephanie. And
Thank you.
Thank you for everything you do at ServPro and take care of so many people during their emergency needs.
Thank you. Spread love, everybody.
Thanks, Steph.
All right.